Police in Las Vegas found themselves in the middle of a UFO mystery last month after
To us, big eyes. They have big eyes.
911, what are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal? Or?
One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious.
What sign? I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, looking right at him.
Okay, hang on.
He's right.
Is he in your yard, sir?
Yeah, God, he's big.
Okay, what's he doing in your yard?
Mythical Legends podcast with your host Daniel Barnett.
And welcome to the Mythical Legends podcast. So today is a very, very special episode. Today we're going to have my partner in crime, and we are going to be talking about the Mythical Legends cryptid convention we've just had. We're also going to be talking about some of the bits and bobs going on with the expedition, which is very, very exciting, and we would love to update you about it. So today there is no guest. Apart from Jill, my partner in crime, so I'm going to add her on now. Hi Jill, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very, very well. So we have a big story to tell, don't we?
We do.
Now, after being shattered for however long, it was a very, very good weekend. Would you agree?
It was a huge event. I'm totally amazed that you planned it, we executed it, and it was a success. I am amazed. I'm very proud of you.
I would also say that the event went very, very, very well as it was planned.
It did, but that was down to a lot of planning to make sure that as far as possible everything did flow, which it did.
Yeah. So let's dive straight in there then, and start with when we first thought of this idea. Do you want to do the honors and tell people how that first event went?
Well, yes. It was a little bit back, a few weeks back, wasn't it? A couple of months ago in the summer. And again, your bright idea to come up with, because we don't have much here in the UK, and especially around where we are in the southwest of England, we don't have a lot of social gatherings for anything like Bigfoot, cryptids, paranormal, anything. And I know you came up with the idea of why not let's try and get a few people together. But particularly you wanted children to be involved. You wanted to just give them a chance to ask questions and maybe get some kids interested, but mostly to get them to perhaps chat with their parents and go out into the forest and explore. It was all good ideas, wasn't it, for that?
Yeah.
That's how first event evolved.
And I think we would both agree that the convention we've just had, and when our viewers watch this, they'll realise that I say convention, not event, because it was very, very different, wasn't it, from our last event?
It was, yes. I mean, primarily we were aiming to just entertain some of the local children and see if their parents were interested. And a few people did come, and it was quite successful, but it was quite low key. So after that, I think we both learned from experience what worked and what didn't. And you then came up with the concept of...
I think what I would say is learning from what you've already done is incredible, and to all the viewers watching this now or listening to this now, the main aim when you're going out doing big expeditions and going and do big events like we've just done. We are all just ordinary people, I'll say, but you need to learn from your mistakes that you made, don't you?
You learn from mistakes. You also learn not necessarily mistakes, but things that work better than others. And you come away from it thinking, that was great, but how can I make this even better in the future?
Yeah.
And I think it is a total ongoing learning curve, I think. And that's been great. It's just been good for us as well as for everybody else.
Yeah, it has been. So let's take people on to how this event went. So if we had loads of guests at this event, didn't we?
We did.
It was probably one of the only cryptid conventions there has been in the UK. So if you go ahead and say about some of the people that we've had at the event.
Well, yes, I think I was going to say that you were lucky. It's not being lucky. It's you found out all these amazing people. You got in touch with them, but more than that, you'd made a connection with them, hadn't you? It's online chats. You'd introduced me to them, so we'd got to know some of these people beforehand, but only through video calls and messages, and we were surprised by their enthusiasm and their wanting to come. And I think the thing we took from it was we didn't know how many members of the public would turn up. We were a little bit worried that we'd invited guests and there would be no one to listen to them. However,
yeah, and I will say very, very briefly there is everyone watching this, every time you start an event, you will always have the nightmare before your event when you're sleeping that no one's going to turn up to your event. So everyone out there that is arranging events, doing conventions, it happens with all events. You will know what we're talking about now. You will have that before nightmare going, is anyone going to turn up? Oh no! And I gotta say, I didn't sleep 2 nights before it. But it turned out to be an amazing day, and everyone loved it, didn't they?
They did, and I think as we found out afterwards, didn't we, that the amazing guest speakers we had assured us that even if not many people turned up, they were still happy to come and do this because it meant that they were meeting each other in person. And that was great to see them all chatting and getting together in a social way. And I think each of them has taken away something from meeting each other, which we hadn't anticipated. So that was a huge bonus.
It was nice to see all the guests stood around together on that.
And making future plans to get in touch with each other, and wanting to do it again. So it was well worth the sleepless nights.
So I will dive straight in there and go. So we had an amazing Bigfoot researcher, and she's actually been on this podcast before, Vera Cardoso. Now she is an amazing researcher, and she flew from Portugal, didn't she?
She did. She was absolutely brilliant. Yes, and lovely lady.
Yeah, and she flew right over from Portugal, landed here in the UK, and spent about 3 to 4 days here, spending time at the event with us, and then going out and doing her own research here in the UK. And for me, that's a real win there.
Yes, it was massive to have somebody from another country come in. I think we were more nervous about not wasting her time, but as it happened, I'd say she's absolutely lovely lady, but
Yeah,
she enjoyed it very much, didn't she? And also did her
yeah, she
own,
did.
she did some own research. She went to Glastonbury, which is pretty famous for us here in the southwest,
She also
um,
went to Dead Woman's Ditch, didn't she?
on the Quantock Hills. Yeah,
Mm.
and
And I
again,
will say to all the viewers that are listening to this now, really, really research Dead Woman's Ditch. I really recommend it.
well, certainly Vera found some interesting things there, didn't she?
Yeah.
And
She did.
yeah, I thought it was worth her while coming over, which was great for us.
Yeah, and it was amazing to see all the photos that she had. She was at a local beach where I went. I didn't even know there was cryptid activity there. And it's amazing to see what other researchers think.
Well, it's lovely to see things that we take for granted through someone else's eyes, and then again, it's learning all the time. So now we can go to those places knowing different things that we can look for.
Yeah, yeah. Then let's talk about John Downs from the CFZ. So anyone who doesn't know who John is, his name is Jonathan Downs, and he owns the CFZ. It's a cryptozoology company, I'll say, and it's an incredible thing that he set up, and it's the last official cryptozoology company, I would say, standing. So he is very, very proud, and I really, really appreciate him coming to the event. So let's kind of talk a little bit about him. He was incredible, wasn't he?
John was a delightful character. I mean,
Yeah,
you just have to smile when you're with John.
he is funny.
He's very funny, very knowledgeable, but just absolutely lovely. I think everybody took to him straight away.
Yeah,
He did a very interesting talk.
he did.
We were very honoured to have him talk because he used to talk, did a lot of talks, he was saying, but he hasn't for quite a while. So we were extremely honoured that he came to ours and just gave this amazing, interesting talk. He had everyone spellbound.
Yeah,
Lovely,
and
lovely man.
anyone who would love to see us talk, it was on live stream. Now live stream was a little bit glitchy, but enough for you to see him. So log on to our YouTube channel that you're on now, or if you're watching this from a different platform, log on to our YouTube channel and find John's talk, because John's talk was amazing, and find where Jill and John have a bit of a laugh at the beginning.
He can't just keep a straight face. He has to
No.
he laughs and he has to make you laugh.
Yeah. and I think he was a tremendous asset to the and then to bring books from sign, because he did a book signing. That was incredible, wasn't it?
It's several of the guests did book signing, and that was another whole aspect that we hadn't actually anticipated. They offered that service.
Yeah.
Which just, I think, brought some more members of the public in to see what it was like. So, I mean, they were helping us to organise the event as much as we were helping, like, organising it ourselves, weren't they?
Yeah,
They were
and
so active.
they were very, very on hands with us, weren't they?
All of them, every single one of them, yes, was just, well, just so helpful and wanting it to be a success. Therefore, it was.
Yeah. And I will say, members from the CFZ, John was not the only person there. In my opinion, this man is probably the UK's biggest cryptozoologist, Richard Freeman. A lot of you may have heard of him. He was also he had an incredible talk, didn't he?
He did indeed,
Very
yeah.
detailed.
And again, from what we take away from that is that we need to allow these guests longer to speak. I mean, Richard's talk at the end, unfortunately, we had to cut short because we were running out of time. So it just proves to us that we can manage the next event slightly differently, giving them the time they deserved to give these amazing talks, because he just had so much to tell us. It was a shame that we couldn't have heard more from each and every guest. You didn't want anyone
and each and every guest did an amazing talk, didn't they?
They certainly did, yes, all of them, and they were all wonderful.
Yeah, you were, and I would really recommend to all the viewers is please go and have a look at these people on Facebook. Go and just find out about them, because when we found out about them, we were just astonished by how great their work is, and I hope for some of them we have back for our next event, right?
Absolutely, yes. Well, we'd want each and every one of them, wouldn't we, if we could?
Yeah, and it's definitely something that we're gonna start planning. So to all viewers, keep an eye out on our Facebook pages, because I would suggest in the next 3 months or so, we're gonna start posting stuff for the next event, and I hope it's going to be even better than last time.
Definitely.
So, any comments, please put. But we're now going to change tracks completely and go on to our.
I think just before we do, we need to mention the other couple of guests, because they were equally as good, weren't they? The lovely Jackie Tonks, who was just so interesting and helpful, and lovely. And of course, Darren and Angela. You can't leave those out. My goodness.
No, I can't. Now, I will tell you guys something about Darren. Darren is probably one of the most loveliest guys I've met, and he means well, but he talks a lot.
Saying that, joking apart, again, he's been extremely helpful to us. We even managed to do the day before. They very kindly, they came down the day before, came to the forest with us, didn't they, Daniel? Gave us their really helpful views on the things that Daniel and I have been trying to investigate and research. So they were great. The whole family were great, and and Darren did great talk as well there. So again, just amazing. We all bonded as though we were been friends for ages.
And even people are now suggesting that we go out next year. We meet up, and that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
It would indeed. Yeah. So huge thank you to each and every one of them.
So we have mentioned it once. So let's switch. There was one more guest that I forgot. Shane. Now Shane is a tremendous guy. Honestly, a tremendous guy. Unfortunately, he got stage fright. We all get stage fright, and it's something to kind of go. It's fine. And he should be at the next event. But I really thank him for actually getting down here, being present for the event, because that was amazing.
Yes, of course. Yes. He chose not to speak on that particular time, and that's fine. But he's going to be he has offered to do a video call with you, hasn't he?
Yeah.
To do that. And also, of course, quick mention to Chris as well, Chris Aisford, for all his
Oh, yeah.
help. And,
Yeah.
and although he wasn't a speaker on this occasion, we're hoping that perhaps we can get him on future events.
Right, is there anyone else that we've forgotten?
We don't want to upset
It's all in
anyone.
one. It's all in one. There's so much to kind of keep in there. The last one was 3 who did a virtual video. Thank you so much to Amy, Boo, Mike, Ann, and Harry Smith, also known as Harlem. Thank you so much to all 3 of you. We very, very much appreciate it, especially Amy and Mike coming live from the USA. That's incredible that we had that one, wasn't it?
It was. We had some technical issues there. It didn't quite run smoothly, but bless them, they stayed with it and they
Did
they
it,
did
yeah.
their utmost, even though one couldn't see us and one couldn't hear us. It was a bit
And
very tricky for them.
hopefully we should have it solved by our next event. It should be.
Yes, I'm sure we will.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Right. Now we're gonna switch tracks completely because we only have around about 9 minutes left, and there's so much to cover. You can't cover it all, isn't it? So we're gonna switch tracks to mine and Jill's hunting, for Bigfoot in the forest. So, do you want to do the honors and kind of just round up what we did on Friday?
Right, so this Friday, say we were lucky enough to have Darren and Angela with us to help us. We were showing them places where Daniel and I had found this first indentation that could be a footprint that we took samples from, soil samples, and this was the ones that came back with positive
Primate DNA.
old primate, old world monkey, and giant ape DNA. Darren then sort of helped us, guided us to different parts of the forest, and showed us sort of different things to
I
look
will mention very, very briefly that both me and Jill were the ones to find the primate DNA. I've discussed it on certain live events with Darren, and then obviously I posted it to you guys on Facebook. If you guys have any questions for us, please shove it in the comments and we will try and reply, because even that's a finding in itself, isn't it?
Oh, that was huge. Yes, it was. And I think though, Darren, we split up at one point, didn't we? Went to different parts of the forest, and when we returned, Darren was fairly sure that something was there. He'd heard noises, a kind of whistling and knocking. We were in a completely different part of the forest, and whilst we didn't hear that, certainly Angela sensed a different atmosphere in the forest.
And then suddenly we found like a big gruesome things in front of us.
We found quite a large pile of bones that we have since found out are almost certainly remains of deer. What has happened to this deer and whatever creature
in this case, in my opinion, I would say deers or a pack, because I can almost say that what we found was not one deer. It was obviously more than one.
Yes, quite difficult to work out exactly what happened there, but it was certainly a pile of bones, which was a little bit unexpected.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it's just really interesting, this forest. It's a really, really interesting area, I'll say.
We always seem to find something new each time we go there. Whether it's tree structures, or we have found some which we thought were several footprints at one point. Interesting as well, when we went this time, because it's now autumn, so much of the forest floor is now just thick with leaves, so any prints are almost impossible to find now. So it changes. The season
It
definitely
does, yeah.
changes
And
the forest.
the forest where we went into, I may have mentioned on another podcast, where there was one side to the forest where we could just not get in during summer, and when we went back last Friday, all the vegetation had gone, so we were able to get in there, weren't we?
We were, yes, and it was totally different. It was almost like a
Was
forest split in two.
It was
Yeah,
dead
very
silent though, wasn't it?
completely and utterly silent.
Mm,
Yes, yeah,
weird, wasn't it?
very
Yeah.
strange. Yes, but really interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that was Friday rounded up. So let's kind of shift track slightly to then the eDNA that we found, because we haven't really discussed it in real length yet. So if you would like to tell our viewers, Jill, what is your opinion on the eDNA? Now that may be a question I think I know the answer to this, but would you like to tell viewers, even though it's like 3 words?
I think the 3 words Daniel knows I'm going to say is that I don't know. Everything we come across, you try to analyze it, you try to
Debunk it.
as they say, but you try to find a logical explanation for most of these things. And Daniel and I work so well as a pair, because Daniel's got the eagle eyes, he spots everything, he immediately will say what he thinks it could be, and I come along and put his feet back on the ground and say, but it could be natural. This could be made by deer. It could be made, the wind is doing it, the natural elements. And between us, we usually come up with a common ground solution, don't we?
Yeah.
But this eDNA, I'm afraid, has just knocked all common sense out of my mind. I really cannot think of what this could possibly mean.
Yeah.
It remains a mystery.
And it's kind of like we have no idea what this could be. We have no clue what number one was there and how long it was there. Now,
No.
for the eDNA, we kind of have a slight idea with background science, but other than that, we have no clue.
No.
Now the eDNA had to be fairly recent, within the last 5 or 6 weeks, which is recent for like nature. But other than that, was it there when we were there on the first day? I bloody well hope not. I keep telling myself, don't I, that I hope that there's nothing there, knowing inside that there possibly might be, and around the corner could be this 7-8 feet tall creature, and I go, I can't. There's no words coming out there.
No, but that's all part of it, isn't it? I mean, it is a mystery. It's a mystery to most people, and we're just really lucky, I think, that we're just able to go up into these forests and look and try and discover and just find out things. But if we don't find out, it's been fun trying, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's been very, very fun. And I keep laughing that we actually had, and to all the viewers, this may sound like a ridiculous question to ask yourself, but a question that both me and Jill keep asking ourselves is, what if we come face to face with this creature? What if we come face to face with a Bigfoot? What do we do? And it's a question that most researchers should kind of ask themselves, really, though, shouldn't they?
They should. I'm banking on the fact that any creature does not want to be found and is going to run away from us rather than us having to run away from it.
Well, to all new researchers, if you're faster than your partner, you'll be absolutely fine. So I'm faster than Jill, so I don't mind.
On the other hand, I have the car. You can't get anywhere without me.
Jump through the field. So guys, we are gonna have to end it now, but I want to thank Jill for coming on with us today. It's been fun.
You're very welcome. It's good to share all the experiences that we've had.
Yeah, and I hope to have her back on soon when new things come on. And so guys, I please comment. You are more than welcome to contact me if you have any questions. If you need to ask Jill any questions, you are more than welcome to go through me. But thank you so much to everyone. And Jill, is there any last words you want to say?
No, just thanks for listening to us. And if you take anything away from all this, if you get any pleasure or help from any of this, then that's great for us.
And with our conventions, to all the children out there, we cannot encourage you enough to get out in the forest and dig your head deep in this mystery, because the more people we have, the more evidence we're gonna get. Isn't that right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Amazing. If you guys have any questions, please just contact us. But thank you so much, guys, and I will see you in the next podcast.
Bye.